Hey guys, how you doing? We have finished the camping portion of our trip and are now just relaxing for a couple of days before we start the long drive back west. What have we learned? What has our experience been? I guess I have to say Ontario is a very nice place, a lot of beautiful scenery. I can't even make the video because it's so crowded here. There's people talking beside me. I've learned that whatever you have to do in Ontario, when you have a plan or a vision or you want to do anything, you always have to consider that it's going to take you probably 2 or 3 or 4 times longer than you expected, and that you may run into 3 or 4 or 5 more obstacles than you anticipated, and perhaps you won't even be able to do it because there'll be some rule or regulation that prevents you from doing it. And I say that partly jokingly and partly seriously, guys. Right? You learn things through life. Just you have to look at things from a grand perspective, like flying at 50,000 feet, the big overview. And what I think about this for a minute, I've do not underestimate how taxing and how grinding just the simple little the things that you've heard about in the last 4 or 5 videos in this playlist, this trip. All these rules and regulations and roadblocks and procedures and bureaucracy and the paperwork and the administration and the outright ban this. It wears you down. I've only been here now for what's it been? We've been here a week, and I'm already starting to metamorphosize into an Ontarian. Right? When someone says, "Hey, why don't we head down to the marina? They're going to have some fireworks. We can go see that, after dinner." And normal Klaus Kellerman would say, "Yeah, let's go," and get in the car, go, and enjoy the. But already after a week here, I'm already metamorphosizing myself into that. Oh, we have to get in the car, and it's gonna take an hour and 30 minutes to get there. It's only 10 kilometers, but it'll take over an hour because of the traffic. And then when we get there, the parking's going to be horrendous because you're going to have to go to the permit section instead of the non-permit section, and there's going to be someone that's trying to park in the section that requires permits and he doesn't have a permit, and there'll be someone there turning him away. And then we only be able to congregate in groups of 3, and if I have to go to the bathroom I have to bring my mask, and I'm reverting to the typical Ontario way of doing things, which is to just sit around and do nothing. And guys, in the grand scheme of things, the more and more rules, the more and more things are regulated, the more and more difficult, the more roadblocks, the more balls and chains that are attached to you, the less and less and less the cream can rise to the top. Think of this, guys. It's a regular schmo like me. I'm not going to invent the cure for cancer. I'm not going to come up with the miracle of longevity potion. I'm not going to be the guy that discovers a way of leaving the solar system and exploring the planets. I'm just going to go camping and make stupid videos on YouTube. And you who are watching, whether you're a close-in subscriber, if you're just someone who happened to click on this video, speaking to you, you're probably just a regular schmo. You're not a genius, right? You're just a moron like me. And so this kind of grinding doesn't. We can just bend over and take it, but it doesn't stop us from achieving our full potential. Or if it does, so what? It took me an extra hour to get to the beach. I had to fill in 3 extra forms to get the trailer registered. I had to. I wasn't allowed to ride my bike down there, so I had to bring it back. It doesn't grind me to death. It doesn't stop me from achieving greatness. But what it does, the regular schmo, it doesn't really matter how much we grind grind the regular schmoes down, it doesn't really affect society other than make it just unbearably hopeless for us. but what it does do, it affects the geniuses and that top, the guys that you need to thrive, the small portion of our society that needs to succeed, the guy who will figure out how to leave the solar system and explore the universe, the guy that may come up with the magic drug serum that'll make us live 60 years longer, the guy who will cure cancer, right? Those guys, those are the people that when you burden them with all this bureaucracy and this a ball and chain around them at every turn, struggling just to achieve menial day-to-day things. Those are the people that if you stop them from achieving their full potential, it's bad for humans as a whole. And I've just, in my country, I think that's happening year after year after year, decade after decade after decade. As time goes by, you never hear Canada achieving or doing anything now. You know, it's just pathetic. Anyone who has some aspirations of any kind of greatness in Canada to achieve their full potential now has to leave. And if you want to be a singer, you can be a singer. You can be a mediocre singer here. But if you want to get great, you got to go to the United States. If you want to be an actor, you can do a CBC daytime show that 35 people will watch. But if you want to become famous, you got to move to the United States. If you want to be a world-renowned doctor or researcher, that's you can kind of muddle along here, or you could go to the United States, or perhaps some few countries in Europe that are progressive. It's the cream, the small portion of us that will propel our communities and our species forward. They can't do it here anymore. It's too hard here. They have to leave. And although I still have hope for humanity as a whole, because regular morons like me and you will just become sheep and just muddle along and take it. But those guys that are guys and gals that are motivated and driven, because remember, the people that achieve greatness in one thing are usually weirdos, right? Like Beethoven was a weirdo. Michelangelo was a weirdo. Leonardo da Vinci was nuts. These guys are so driven. He was in the cemetery digging up corpses to dissect people to find out how the human body worked. Right? They thought he was crazy. People that are driven to that extreme to achieve and to learn, they won't let the system grind them down. They'll figure out a way to achieve their potential. And in Canada, that usually is to leave and go somewhere where it's easier, or ignore the rules, or become so eccentric that they just they will be in their time viewed as pariahs or weirdos in society. It's only later that we will remember them as, wow, that guy really achieved something fantastic. How did he do it, right? How did he do it? Was by ignoring all the bullshit and just focusing. And what was I? How am I getting to this portion of the conversation? I guess I learned that just by the slight culture shock from coming from out west, where I'd have to say things are easier, life is easier, there's less rules, there's less government, there's not as many people telling you what to do and what you can't do. Just from coming out from the western portion of Canada to the heartland in Ontario, what a culture shock. Like, what? I can't believe that anyone here could possibly function coming as an outsider. Just if you're a sheep, if you're a farmer and you have what are they called? Is it a herd of sheep or a flock of sheep? Whatever. There's a bunch of sheep. You know, if you have one crazy sheep that wants to frolic around and not behave, the shepherd just herds all the sheep, because all you really want from sheep is some wool, right? So you don't tolerate the individual sheep that doesn't want to just sit there and eat the grass. He wants to go do something else that maybe regular sheep don't do. And having the sheep conform is a good thing for the farmer, right? But it's not a good thing in a society. And you know, in Ontario, they want all the sheep to conform. But when you do that, you just stifle that 1 or 2 out of a million sheep that might be your ticket to something great happening here. And I just don't see it happening. It's impossible. Now, I aspire to be great, although I'm not. I'm getting older, and I still don't know what it is that I'm going to be great at doing. But one day I will do something great, and it'll be because I've done it on my own, by ignoring the bullshit and focusing on what I want to do and achieving my own goals. And that's my advice to you guys. Just be yourself, do what you want to do. And I feel a little bit enlightened. I thought I'd share that with you guys. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you think I'm nuts. I always try and throw a life lesson in there when I experience something. Like, my mind tries to figure out, because you can analyze little things in life, and if you view it from the big picture, from 50,000 feet, if you try and see the forest instead of the individual trees, sometimes you can glean some interesting insights into things. And that's my insight. Let me know what you guys think. If you're watching from another country, let me know what your experience is in your country. There were so many amazing comments that I've read in this series. It's just incredible. I may do a video just on your comments. Read the comment section, guys, because the comment section sometimes is actually more entertaining than watching my video. But I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I will probably make a couple more videos on my way back. Maybe some footage of fantastic Saskatchewan and Manitoba as I drive through on my way back west. And remember, the West is the best. And one of the most amazing comments about a video or two ago was, one guy commented on that. He said, yeah, Jim Morrison was partly right. The West is the best if you stop at Texas and don't go all the way to California. And you got to find the humor in things as well, guys. So that was a fantastic comment. It made me laugh. And I hope you guys get a little bit of laughter today, because that'll be the topic of another video. Laughing is good for you. Okay, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. That's it. This video's over.